Hey, I'm back. I don't have a baby this time, so hopefully it will go a little bit smoother. Like I said, really sorry for how abruptly the first one ended. But let's get right back into it. So I think I left off saying that, I was only 28 when I got my implants put in. So, I went to a doctor at one point, and I think at that time I was at like one of my highest weights. I think the highest I ever got was about 195, with the exception of when I was pregnant with my second daughter, who you got to meet in the last video. But yeah, 195 pounds. Maybe it was like 193. Getting on the scale and seeing that was like earth shattering. I mean, I've never been that heavy in my life. And I remember sitting with the doctor, and at the time I was probably 36, maybe 36. And this little snot-nosed brat, he says to me, well, you're just older and you just need to work harder. All right, I'll play your game. And for the next month and a half, I went on a very strict 1,200 calorie a day diet. I was working out 3 to 5 days a week and watching every little thing that went into my mouth. And I was like, I'm not going to get on the scale. I'm not. I'm going to wait until a month or 6 weeks or whatever I gave myself is up. And I'm going to see what I weigh then. I mean, let's just see. I'm going in the steam room. I'm going in a sauna. I am just trying to do everything I can. That was the traditional way. Don't comment on this about how that's not how you lose weight. And I know. But I was going to play this guy's stupid little game so I could go back and be like, see, you're wrong. But sure enough, I get on the scale at the end of all that, and I think I'd gained 2 pounds. It's insane. Why I was in denial for so long, and I think that's ultimately what it was, because, I love researching. I love looking into things. And why I never connected the dots. I'd had some conversations here and there. I even had a conversation with a girlfriend on New Year's Eve 2018. And she had her breast done, and she has terrible, I think, lupus and fibromyalgia and all of these problems. And I said, did you ever think that maybe it was your implants? And she goes, yeah, it's crossed my mind. And I'm like, it's crossed mine too. What do you think about that? And she goes, to be honest with you, even if I knew it was, I'll take my boobs. I want to keep my boobs. She's very slender, very pretty, and I guess she's just... she wants to keep them. And, I'm not against plastic surgery. If you want to do it, go for it. Just please be careful. Please do your research. And you know what? Now the information is out there. It wasn't out there. It wasn't out there. But even if it was, would I have made a different decision? Probably not. I would have rolled the dice. Because it was something I wanted so badly. And for a long time. I had my first child when I was 17. I went from a very full B, almost C cup, to an A. Poof, they were gone. And it was kind of heartbreaking. And that was also in the late 90s when, boobs were everything. That was, now it's all butts, but back then it was all boobs, it was boobs and legs coming, anyway. So I totally want to share how the pieces came together for me, because it's almost humorous. But as I was saying, like, I just wasn't putting the pieces together. I don't even think I ever really looked into it, or maybe I did, but you know, when I looked at these list of symptoms, and I've heard other people say it, like, they're all over the place. They're so vague. I mean, you know, it's like, are you tired when you first wake up? Well, of course I'm tired when I first wake up. You know, are you hungry in the middle of the day? Yes, I'm hungry in the middle of the day. No, they're not that vague, but you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, do you breathe? I breathe. I do that. You know, okay, I'm exaggerating. Sorry. So I just didn't look too much into it. And then I'm a member on like this group on Facebook. It's like a holistic group. And I don't know what prompted me. I did remember last night when I was thinking about making this video, but you know, gone. That was last night. That was ages ago. And I posted up, hey, you know, can anyone share their experience, their symptoms, anything about their breast implants, and if they had them removed, and, you know, just talk to me. Nobody responded. All right, cool. But my girlfriend hit me up in a private message, and she was like, listen, I have a girlfriend, and she was having all of these symptoms. She had her implants removed, and they all went away. She said she's part of this Facebook group, and, you know, maybe she gave me some of her information. I don't remember. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll join this group. And I will leave a link for it. I want to say there's like over, I know it's definitely over 50,000 members. It's just amazing how many people are out there. So here were the common misconceptions that I had, and this is part of the reason why I didn't look into it, and part of the reason why I was totally in denial. I had saline implants. Okay, now I had heard about mold and things like that, but I mean, I heard it was rare, and I just really didn't think, you know, I thought, okay, if someone's having a reaction to saline implants, it's because they have mold. There's no other reason for them to have a reaction. And that's not true. Now, I knew it was a silicone shell. I always knew that. But in my mind, I'm like, well, you know, there's a lot of things that they use silicone for. I mean, baking trays, okay? You know, a lot of different medical devices and things like that. So, like, why aren't some of these people having issues? Well, they are having issues. Some of these people are having issues, but also a lot of these people that have medical devices put in their body, they're put on special, you know, immunosuppressant drugs to prevent them from having reactions to these medical devices. And here we are having implants put in that are larger than most other medical devices, and also in very close proximity to major organs and our lymph nodes and everything else. Back in, I'm getting off track a little bit, I apologize. There's just so much to say. Back in, I would say 2014 or 15, I started noticing that my right one was looked a little bit smaller, just a little bit. And, you know, I said to my husband, I'm like leaning on him, I'm like, hey babe, hey, this one looks smaller to you. And he's like, yeah. Did you notice before me? Did you just not say anything? I don't think he answered me. When he doesn't want to tell me something, he just doesn't answer me. And I I just kept an eye on it for years, and you know, it was just this very, very gradual deflating. And I had my daughter Elizabeth in June of 2018, and I'm nursing her. And I think the pressure of getting engorged a couple times is what finally was like, because now I have like maybe a full B, C cup, and a double D. So let me tell you, ladies, for those of you that want to go into this surgery because you want to feel really attractive, this ain't hot. This ain't pretty. You know what else isn't pretty? Being that chubby girl sitting in a waiting room with big old titties and exhausted, so you're falling asleep and your head's back and you're drooling on yourself and your mouth is so wide open that everyone else in the waiting room could probably see what you had for breakfast. And yeah, that's not hot. It's just not. That is not centerfold material. And I really wanted to hold on to my boobs. I really didn't want it to be them, because, as I said before, one of my first symptoms was weight gain, and then it was a really dry skin, and you know, the inflammation. I mean, I look like a Neanderthal. This is not me. All of this is not what I look like. My nose is so swollen and inflamed, and I have a deviated septum, so it's like this inflammation, everything is like pushing my nose to one side. This side, it looks like I have an abscess, and I don't. It's just inflammation and grossness, and like every time I touch myself, I'm turning bright red. This is not attractive. But when all this stuff is happening to your body, I felt like all I had left were my boobs. I felt like they were the only thing left on my body that I thought was pretty. And so I didn't want to admit that they were the issue. However, because one's deflating, I kind of have to pay attention, and I have to consider, well, what am I going to do? I obviously need to go in for another surgery. You know, they're 11 years old. These things don't last forever. They say you should absolutely get them replaced between 8 to 10 years, tops. So I was coming up on it anyway. And, you know, I was talking with my husband, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I said, believe it or not, I actually kind of like this right one. I think it's super cute, and I don't think that this big, large boob fits me anymore. And I just feel like for years, with the additional weight gain, the additional size I put on with that, they just make me look fatter. And it's ridiculous looking. It's just, maybe it looked cute when I was this little tiny thing, but I'm not that little tiny thing anymore. And I mean, they walk into a room before I do, and it's just not worth it to me. And so I was like, you know, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to have smaller implants put in, because I know I'm going to have a lot of, I might have a lot of extra skin. I don't know. Like, this one doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. But I'm also nursing right now. And so it has some more volume than it's going to once I wean. And yes, I have looked into the pros and cons of nursing with implants, and I still have some more reading to do. I don't know what is the best route for me at this point, if I wean her and have them explanted, or if I continue nursing her with whatever benefit. I don't know if the benefits outweigh the risks at this point. I don't know, and I'm not finding a lot of definitive information out there. There's a lot of contradictory opinions, and there's not a lot of studies. So I'm going to keep looking into it. And if you have some advice on that, if you have some links you want to share, do it. So I'm getting into like the 15-minute thing, and I said I wasn't going to do these super long videos. And I know I'm rambling and I'm all over the place, and hate to break it to you, but that's just me. I'm like trying to stay organized, but yeah, it's just not gonna happen. Squirrel. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm probably gonna hop right on and film number 3, but I just figured I'd break it up for you guys, and so you could take little bites and digest, and I'm sorry, I'm such a space cadet. Peace. I'll talk to you soon.